Are you too focused on what your life should look like instead of focusing on how your life actually feels? Welcome to the Search for Serotonin podcast, a podcast all about letting go of what you thought your life would look like and embracing your life for exactly what it is. Hi, I'm Carolyn, and this podcast is my audio diary where I share the struggles of being in your 20s, what going to therapy really looks like, and what it's like to live with severe high functioning anxiety, clinical depression, and perfectionism. We all battle our own demons, but we shouldn't feel alone because of it. If you feel like you're not good enough or that you're behind in life, then let's start searching for serotonin together. Welcome to the Search Committee. What is up, Search Committee members? Welcome back to another episode of the Search for Serotonin podcast. This is your host, Carolyn Farrick, and I have some explaining to do, you guys. I said that I would be back the Monday before Christmas to do an episode and talk to you guys all about the holidays and just some things that I do to cope with the holidays and how I was feeling this year and all that kind of stuff. And I never put out that episode. And I didn't put an episode out the week after that either. So it has been officially 2 weeks since we have last chatted. And first things first, I would like to apologize. I would like to say I'm sorry and take accountability for not showing up for you guys. But it was a good reason, in my opinion, because I needed to take some time offline and process some things that I was going through and just take a much needed, well deserved break for my mind to just kind of chill and not post my every thought on the internet. So yeah, if you guys listened to my Christmas episode last year, it is the first episode that I do talk about my suicide attempts. And those suicide attempts actually just happened to have happened around Christmas and the holidays. So this year marked 8 years since my first suicide attempt. It's been a journey, but to sit here and think, it's been 8 years since I tried to end my life. Um, I've just come such a long way, and I can't be anything but proud of that because I never thought I would live past 18, let alone 19, let alone 20, let alone 25. So here we are. And like I said, I just wanted to think of some things offline, take a beat, take care of myself, focus on going home and being home around my family and just having the best time that I could. And I'm so glad to say that I had a wonderful holiday. I got to spend time with all of my favorite people, and I felt like this year was just a really good way to end out the year for me, and it was just nice, no stress, no pressure. So it was definitely the holiday I needed, but I am sorry that I could not show up for you guys. But with that being said, I've just been so drained, like closing out this year. It has been a whirlwind of a year. 2022 just was so crazy. And some of you may know, if you've been here all year, that I started last year with COVID, and then I got COVID halfway through in summer in July. And I'm sitting here on New Year's Eve at 8:19 p.m. and I can confirm that I absolutely have COVID for the third time. Did not get COVID all of 2020. Did not get COVID in 2021. But 2022, I got that shit 3 times. Tell me the universe is not trying to kill me this year. Like someone was trying to wipe me the fuck out. But in the theme of 2022, which my kind of main word for 2022 is resiliency, and not even COVID could stop me this year. So I'd like to see what else could be thrown at me in 2023. I have been drinking tequila because I can't really taste too much. And B, it is New Year's Eve, and I was supposed to be hosting a dinner and a party, and I was supposed to cook and have a bunch of people come over, and then we were all gonna go out and get drunk at the bar and have a great New Year's Eve. I have not gone out in probably like 4 years for New Year's, so I was so hyped up. I was, you know, all ready to have the best night ever. I got a completely new outfit. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the outfit that I was supposed to wear out. I'm still wearing it though, because even though I have COVID, even though I'm spending this holiday alone and in bed quarantining, I decided to still get dressed up. I decided to still drink and have a fun night, even though it may be by myself and it's not the night I envisioned it would be. So far, I got dressed up. I took a little photo shoot, took some pictures, posted on Instagram, made myself feel good, even though I feel like absolute garbage. I took like a 2-hour bath to just like get rid of the aches that my body had going on. But I am set up to have a great New Year's. I'm going to watch the ball drop by myself. I'm going to do a little bit of painting, which you guys know is something that I really love to do. And for any of my TikTokers out there, I do have my 12 grapes ready to go. I wrote down my 12 wishes and I am ready to ring in the new year with my grapes under the table, with money in my hand, with my empty suitcase, running around my house, not going outside because I don't want to expose anybody to my disgusting germs. So, with that being said, tonight I just wanted to have a more fun, low key episode. I'm trying to have as much fun as possible because everybody I know is out having fun without me. So, I wanted to just drink a little bit of tequila, sit here with all of you guys because I'm not alone tonight. I have all of you, the search committee, who I owe everything to this year. So, I thought, what better way to end my year and with all of you, tequila in hand, talking a little bit about 2022. I have some fun things that I want to share, like the top 5 books that helped me heal this year. I'm also going to be sharing the top 5 things that helped my mental health this year. And the thing I'm most excited for is last year at the beginning of 2022, I wrote a letter to my future self for me in 2023. So I have found that notebook and I am going to be reading through this very embarrassing, very far-fetched letter to myself that I wrote at the beginning of last year. And I'm going to pick it apart and tell you guys where I was at when I thought of all these things and kind of where my mindset is at now and how I'm entering 2023. So you guys will hear this in the new year. I'm recording it on New Year's Eve, but grab a drink, grab a non-alcoholic drink if you don't drink, or grab a snack and come back to this episode because I am going to be sharing my top 10 things from the year and reading this stupidly embarrassing letter. All right, I'm going to take a little break and we'll be right back. All right, so top 5 books that helped me heal in 2022. I was on my self-help book grind in 2022. I was reading self-help books left and right, but there are 5 specifically that I found to be the most fulfilling and the most progressive for me in my healing journey. So the first one is a book I'm actually still listening to. I have not fully finished it yet, but the first book on my list that I have found to be the most helpful, even though I have not finished it, is Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this book is so spot on. I started listening to this book maybe a week or 2 ago, and the first time I sat down to listen to it, because I listen to it on Audible, it's just easier sometimes for me to listen to books rather than read them, but this one I got on Audible, and I listened to the first 4 chapters in one sitting. I was hooked. Like, at first, I wanted to turn it off because it was a little too personal, a little too accurate, and I was a little bit uncomfortable, and my ego got bruised. But once I, like, put that aside and really listened to what the book was saying, I found everything to be very helpful. It was all very, applicable to my own life. She provided a lot of real world scenarios of real people, of things that all of us struggle with, and how she helped those people overcome those situations. She is a PhD licensed therapist. So I really, really, really love her take because she has actually worked with these people, lived out these scenarios, and worked people through, these struggles that a lot of us go through. So that one has to be my top most transformative book for 2022. The second one is going to be The Gift of Imperfections by Brené Brown. As most of you know, I have OCPD, which means I have strong tendencies of perfectionism. And in that book, Brené Brown, who is a brilliant, genius, wonderful, amazing woman, she really dissects perfectionism and kind of ties it back to compassion and wholehearted living. And not only compassion, but specifically self compassion. And as a lot of you guys know, I did an interview this year with the amazing Helen Ferguson. And Helen Ferguson is a therapist who I interviewed for the podcast. She came on to talk about self compassion, but me and her have actually developed a really nice relationship through me going on her show to talk about self compassion and just how we interact online. So, Helen is one of probably my most favorite people that I met in 2022. And actually, I'm going to be having Helen back on the podcast in the beginning of the new year. So, yeah, I learned a lot from Helen regarding self compassion. And if you guys haven't heard that episode, go check it out. But a lot of what she says about self-compassion really hits home for me. It really does help when it comes to perfectionism. And Brene Brown just has years of research on, how people interact, how they think, how they feel, all of that kind of stuff. And she really does incorporate that into her books. So if you are somebody who struggles with perfectionism, go check out The Gifts of Imperfection in 2023. The next book is Just Fucking Do It by Noor Hibbert. So if you guys aren't into manifestation, this one is not going to be the book for you. But the tagline for this book is Stop Playing Small, Transform Your Life. And in this book, Noor really dives into how she has manifested her dream life, the mindset and the beliefs that go into manifestation, and how you have to approach it to actually see results from it. I really love Nora's energy. The way she reads in the audiobook is very high energy. It makes you engaged with what she's saying, and I don't get bored of listening to her ever. So, yeah, it's a short read. It's really, really, really good. And if you're somebody who likes manifestation or things like that, I would highly recommend checking that out. The last 2 books, they're really overdone, really common. People talk about these books, I feel like, all the time when it comes to healing, self-help, self-love, self-growth, anything like that. But I read these books this year and I found them helpful, so I'm just gonna reiterate what everyone keeps saying because they really are that good. So the fourth one is going to be You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. That is one of the first self-help books I read after getting COVID over the summer. And that book really kind of woke something up in me this year. It made me realize that like I could get out of the same cycle I'd been living in and I could make changes in my life. I could, do these things and not be afraid. And that's actually how I ended up with my brand new car. Is I was reading that book, and in one of the last chapters she talks about how she basically went out and got her dream car. And I was like, it really is that simple. Like getting a new car is not as complicated as you make it sound. Obviously, with that being said, I'm not talking about, like you have to get approved for loans and credit scores and financing and all of that. That's not easy, but in my head, I was making it, like, impossible for myself to be like, the reasons why I couldn't go get a new car. Yes, there are limitations in everyone's life. Not everybody can just walk out of the door and be like, "I want a new car." But I had the ability to give myself a new car, and I bought a used like, it was pre-used car. It wasn't like I went out and bought, like, a brand new car. And I did have the help of my boyfriend, so it wasn't like I was the only one financially doing it. But that book opened my eyes to it can be possible for you if you stop telling yourself, "Oh my god, there's no way I could ever do that." I just had to take it from a new perspective, think about some things differently, and stop putting so many restraints on myself before I even tried something. So that is what I found to be the most helpful out of You Are Badass by Jen Sincero. And number 5 on the book list is going to be 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Waste, however you say it. Anyway, it's a good book. And I love this book because it is so easy to just listen to whenever. I put this on when I'm driving, I put this on when I'm cooking, and every little essay, I feel like I get something out of. They're all really helpful. They just reframe the way you think, and it is a bunch of different perspectives. And I love it because it pulls me out of my own head, which really is just the ultimate goal. So those are my top 5 books for healing this year. If you guys have read those, let me know which one was your favorite. If you have any other book recommendations for me to try in 2023, let me know. I'm looking for new books. And with all of that being said, let's now talk about the top 5 things that helped my mental health this year. So, first things first, obviously, I'm gonna say it, therapy. Therapy helps me so much, but that is mainly because I have a therapist that, one, I fucking love and I trust so fully and completely, and they are somebody that I look forward to working with every single week. So, therapy is always going to be my number one, top of my list, best thing. Always gonna love it. The second thing that I would have to say that helped my mental health this year is mental health walks. I know. You guys are probably thinking, enough with the walks. We get it. Walking helps. But I'm here to tell you, it does work, and I know you're sick of hearing it, but it's worth doing even just for 10 minutes a day. In some of my hardest and lowest points this year, when I was really down on myself, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know where to turn. Something that got me through it was walking and going to the park, being in nature, and just being alone with my thoughts, or, going and walking and putting on a podcast or listening to music. I felt like that was one of the very few times that I felt completely, whole within myself a lot this year. So I'm always going to be a big fan of taking mental health walks, getting outside in nature, but that doesn't always work for everybody, so you gotta find what works for you, like walking works for me. The third thing, and this is something that I have only been doing recently, and it is newer for me, but I have been taking probiotics, and oh my gosh, these things are amazing. Currently, I am taking a pre-probiotic. It is made by the brand Ollie. They do the little gummies. They have like multivitamins, different kinds of ones, but I specifically get the pre-probiotic gummies, and those ones are peach flavored, which happens to be my favorite flavor. So I've been taking that for a couple months now, and I feel so much better. I feel so less anxious. My, gut feels better. I feel like my digestive system is more regulated, and I definitely notice a difference when taking a probiotic. And actually, the reason that I started taking a probiotic is because I saw a TikTok, and this girl was saying how she heard from some therapist or psychiatrist on TikTok that a probiotic can do a lot for your mental health, especially if you find ones that focus on, you know, gut health and mood care and things like that. And so she started doing it and she found it to be very effective. So the first brand I found, I can't remember the name of it. I'll see if I can find it and link it in the show notes. But It is a, like, Doctor Something brand, and it's supposed to be specific for mood and gut health, and I really like that one. It was just a little pricey, and it wasn't always feasible because you only get, like, 20 some pills for like $25, and that is costly each month. So I switched to the Ollie gummies, which are pre and pro, but you pay like $12 and get 30 gummies. So for bang for your buck, I've been doing the Ollie gummies, but when I have a little bit more money and money isn't as tight, I want to go back to the other brand because they have like so much packed into them. I'll link both in the show notes though, so you guys can check those out. But yeah, a probiotic, something so simple, like has really, really, really made a big difference in my mental health this year. And it is something I plan to continue in 2023. The fourth thing that helped my mental health this year was CBD gummies. And oof, CBD gummies are probably my new favorite thing. I get these CBD gummies and they all have different purposes. So there's, calm ones for during the day. I have immune system ones right now because I'm sick. They have sleep ones, they have like focus ones, all these different kind of things. And if you guys aren't familiar with CBD, first things first, go check out the episode with Mackenzie, who is the owner of Green Goddess. She actually sells CBD products as well as makes her own candles. And she has a background and a knowledge in CBD, and she helps people with anxiety and depression and people who struggle with their mental health get CBD products that work for them and actually, help to improve their situation. So I've always been a big fan of CBD products. I really like them because they don't get you high, they just give you all of the calming properties. So they do contain trace amounts of THC, but it's not enough to get you high and it's nowhere near, illegal limits. So you don't have to have like a med card or anything like that. They just give you the calming benefits. They help you relax. If you have anxiety, they can help calm you down and things like that, which is originally why I started using CBD. But another thing I really love about CBD is I get like panic attacks in the morning. Like I'll wake up anxious as shit. And sometimes when I start my day off like that, I can't really get anything done and I feel exhausted. And it's more of one of those days where I'm like in perfectionist mode where I'm like, productivity doesn't matter. I just have to like look like I'm staying busy. And it's just not good for anybody. But lately, I've been waking up in the morning, and if I start my day off with a lot of anxiety, I take a CBD gummy, and then I can calm down, get some stuff done, feel like I've accomplished things for the day, and then also feel like I can take a nap because I need to rest and, I need to slow down. So it really just helps me keep myself in check. The fifth thing that helped my mental health this year would have to be journaling. Writing stuff down, getting it out of my brain onto my notes app, onto paper, wherever it was, into this podcast, however I got the thoughts out of my brain out into something creative or, in a writing form, whatever it was, whatever worked. I don't know what I'm saying. The tequila's kicking in. I've had two CBD gummies. I'm chilling. I'm having a night and words are not it right now. But yeah, just getting my thoughts out was so helpful and just not bottling everything up and kind of like letting that weight lift off my body has probably been one of my favorite parts about 2022, and I hope to continue taking that into 2023 with me because I want to start sharing my ideas more and putting more into my creative processes. But 2022 really was just a year of growing. And I saw a tweet the other day that said 2022 isn't the year that I wanted, it was the year that I needed. And I grew a lot, and I'm thankful for that. And I have to say that's exactly what 2022 is for me. And you guys are going to see that in this letter because, like I said, this letter is so outlandish that I had all of these crazy ass high hopes for 2022. And the universe basically was like, well, you need to actually heal and actually take care of yourself and actually like focus on you for a year before you can start getting all of these crazy things that you've asked for. So, yeah, I'm going to read through this letter now for you guys, and I'm going to tell you how I fell short and why maybe I don't want some of these same things anymore. All right, the moment we have all been waiting for. So, just so you guys know, this letter was supposed to be written like I have already achieved all of these things. And I don't know if I'll be doing this again this year because it didn't really work out that well. But, I tried. I was very delusional at the beginning of last year. And who knows, maybe I'll just carry that same level of delusional energy into this year. All right. So the letter says, "Dear me, we did it. We made it to 2023. Fact, we did do that. 2022 was so good to you. That's debatable, my guy. We accomplished so much. The podcast is massive now. We have 15,000 followers and 1K downloads. Okay, I have 880 followers right now on Instagram, so not that crazy. And I actually surpassed 1K downloads. I have 2,500. 2021, me would have never thought 2.5K would be possible. So that's kinda cool. I've surpassed myself, but that's the only thing that I'm going to surpass and or achieve. It, as in referring to the Search for Serotonin podcast, has helped so many people and continues to fill you with joy. That sentence is so factual. All of you who have reached out this year and told me that I have helped you in any way, shape, or form, I love you guys so much. And I always love hearing your stories. I love when you guys share with me, and you guys keep bringing me joy. This podcast keeps bringing me joy. So that sentence is 1000% true. We also became financially free this year. Debts are paid, our bank account has more money than ever, and we did it all on our own. Okay, that's a lie. I still have so much debt, but it's fine. And I am figuring it out as a business owner, but I am not raking in the dough. I still have credit card debt. I still have school debt, car debt, all of that kind of debt. So that didn't happen this year, but everything I did this year, I did on my own. So, and it's always mostly like that. So, yay me for being independent, I guess. I am so proud of all of the hard work you put in, but I'm even prouder of all of the play you did. We went to Colorado again and we finally got to hike in the mountains. I did put in a lot of work and I did play and find myself again, which is true. I definitely went to Colorado again and had the best time. And I did actually get to hike in the mountains this year because I did not have a broken ankle. So I could do all of that. Then I said, we healed from our past and we love ourselves so much now. We got our confidence and self worth back, and it feels great. Our mind, body, and soul are in harmony, and we are the healthiest and happiest we've ever been. Okay, partially true here. I would not say that I am the healthiest I've ever been because in college there was a time where I used to go to the gym twice a day, and I would say that is probably when I was the healthiest. Considering the fact that I also have COVID, not that healthy right now. But I can confirm that I did heal a ton this year. And this healing was different than what I feel like I've done in the past. Everything I've done in the past got me here, but I truly do feel like I have gotten my self trust, my confidence, and my self worth back. And I really do feel connected in my mind and my body and every part of me. And that has all been attested to the work that I have put in this past year. You guys have seen it. I let you guys in on my therapy sessions, and I really just dug deep and I did the shit this year. I did the dark, deep shit. I brought all the shadow parts out of me. I looked my ugly demons in the face and I faced them head on, and I I wouldn't have had it any other way. Next, I go on to say we have a great relationship with my family and we made so many genuine friendships this year. Honestly, I can say the friendships I've made through this podcast have been amazing. I feel like I've met some really great people online and on Zoom, and I am thankful for everybody that I've met through the podcast because they're some really genuinely cool people, and I am happy that I know them. We had some ups and downs like every year, but you remained calm, grounded, patient, and humble. We got through it all and we weren't afraid to ask for help. Oh, that's so true too. I usually don't ask for help, but I did this year. I did try. And even though there was a lot of ups and downs, I really tried to remain resilient and I really tried to remain, hopeful and focus on a way to move forward. And I tried to do it in a grounded way. So I really hope that I did that as much as I could this year. Um, yeah, and then I go out to finish the letter by saying, "We greeted most situations with love and compassion in 2022. It was just the beginning. We set ourselves up to have the life we always wanted, and our blessings are going to double in 2023. You are so full of love, and I'm proud of you for finally sharing that side of you with the world. I love you, and I'm always rooting for you. Your best friend, you." Oh, that's so sweet. I really do like that last part of the letter to myself because it is kind of it's so accurate. 2022 is just the beginning of healing. And I did do what I had to do to set myself up to continue on this path that I have and carry myself into 2023 in a way that I am proud of. And I just feel like I am so much myself and I am ready to be this insanely happy version of myself. Um, because when I started this journey, I had a lot of different views of what I thought was going to make me happy than what I actually feel right now. And that's why the title of this episode is actually going to be The Search Begins Part 2, because I feel like 2023 is the beginning of the actual search for serotonin for me. Everything before this was doing the work, setting myself up to find the happiness that I wanted. And I couldn't have gotten to where I wanna be in 2023 if I didn't go through everything I did in 2022 and 2021 and 2020. So this has been years in the making, but when I started this podcast last year, I had all of these goals and aspirations and big ideas and things that I thought were gonna happen that really didn't play out in the way that I thought they would, but I did the work I needed to, and I regained my sense of self back, and that's really, what I wanted. But from here on out, like I've been saying, the past is in the past, and I'm ready to move forward, and I'm ready to live my best life, find my serotonin, live happily, and not feel guilty anymore, and I can finally say that I can do that. I don't feel afraid, I don't feel guilty, I don't feel shame, I don't feel scared. I'm just ready, you know, ready to stop clipping my own wings and just let myself fly. Skip episodes. I'm updating you guys on Instagram. So make sure if you want to stay up to date on the weeks that I skip, go follow the Instagram. Also, go rate and review the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you guys are liking these episodes, you want to see more of different kind of episodes, whatever you want to see, whatever you're liking, whatever you're hating, tell me. I want your feedback. I want to know, not only does it help me make a better show for you guys, but it helps the podcast get pushed out to more people. So make sure you go rate and review. And other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's, and I will see you all next week. Always remember, this world is better with you in it.